Hi everyone, and welcome to a new Let's Build series in which we'll be building New York City Brownstones. It's been a while since I've done a Let's Build, and I'm really excited to get into this and see how this is going to turn out. And just in case you're not familiar with what a Let's Build is, unlike speed builds where I finish the whole build, speed it up, put it into one video, with a Let's Build series, I share my whole process of building in real time, part by part, and you all can also give me feedback in the comments that I take into account. So it's kind of like we're building this together in a way, and I just always love seeing the creative ideas that you will have for these builds. But we are going to be doing a brownstone because earlier this week I made a post on the community section of my channel asking for Let's Build ideas, and then from there I made a poll with 3 ideas in it that you all voted on, and New York City Brownstones overwhelmingly won. And I just have so many ideas for this. I think this is going to be a really fun project. We're going to be able to furnish spaces for many different kinds of Sims, so I'm looking forward to seeing what ideas you will have for the types of Sims that we can furnish these homes for, because I'm thinking we're going to build 3 brownstones. 2 of them, I'm not sure if we're going to furnish all 3, but one of them is definitely going to be furnished for a more wealthy family, because that was an idea that Vojta, hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly, brought up in the first community post that I made. And then I was thinking one of the other ones could be split up into 3 apartments, so that way we get a little bit more variety in who we're furnishing for. And then I would love to furnish a 3rd one, but I'm not sure if that's going to make this series too long or not. We'll kind of play that by ear once I furnish the first 2. Because ideally I would like to furnish it just so I don't have one empty one, but we'll see how it goes. Like maybe if we do furnish that 3rd one, that one could be one that's less renovated, like for a more traditional family. And then I'm thinking that one for a wealthier family could be more renovated and modern looking on the inside. So I think it'll be really fun. But without further ado, I'm just going to get into this. And I do have a reference picture that I'm going off of, so I'll put that somewhere on the screen. I'm not going to be exactly replicating it, but I just want to have something to kind of go off of to really get that New York brownstone look. So I'm going to start this off by figuring out the facade of these houses, like how wide they're going to be. So this part is mostly going to be just figuring out the lay of the land and where we're going to be placing everything. So I'm thinking that each of these can be, let's turn on the grid here, but I'm thinking that each of them could be 6 tiles wide. So I'm just going to start by doing this. We'll obviously pull this back a little later on, but I just kind of want to figure out how much width of this lot these are going to take. And then we'll make this, I'm thinking, we'll just go with the smallest wall height for now, because looking at the pictures, I think that's what these are. These might actually be more medium wall height. Maybe that's what we should go with. We can always mess around with this later on. So we'll raise this up a little bit because we're going to want to have these on a higher foundation. And I want to figure out kind of like the windows and doors we're going to go with for each of these. So looking at that picture, 2 of them have this sort of bump out on the front of them, and then the other one is flat on the front. So I'm going to keep that and have these 2 have those bump outs. So let's put that in. So I'll just do it, we'll do 2 tiles this way. Looking at that, it should be 1 tile each, kind of like this. But I think that would make too narrow of a house. So we're just going to do this. And then I just realized I need to pull this out 1 more tile. And then this one we're just going to keep flat. So I think this one here that's flat would work best as the one that's split into apartments because it's on the end here. And I also wanted to use the objects from that live edit sheet, or that were unlocked in the most recent patch, because one of those objects I'm pretty sure was, I think if we do this, it should get us to those objects. Like if we go to the bottom, it's kind of hard to find, but I already have the sheet in and everything. But I know one of the items that were unlocked was a fire escape from City Living. So I really want to stick that on the end here. And I think it would kind of make sense to make the house with a fire escape next to it the one that's the apartment. So it's kind of like each level has a fire escape. Ooh, it looks like we got 2 of them to choose from. So we have this one. That one looks like that's going to be a little tall. Yeah, this one's a bit shorter. Like this one looks more like what we want to use. I'm not sure if this is going to line up correctly. I think what we're going to need to do is, yeah, I'm kind of worried we're not going to be able to get this to line up perfectly. But it is 3 stories, and that's what I was planning on making this. I think we want to have the foundation at about this height. Like, this might be a bit tricky to line up. And it does look like we're going to need the median wall height to do that. So I think if we do this... Oh, wait, right. I have it the wrong way. I was like wondering why this wasn't looking quite right. Yeah, so we want to have it this way. And then usually, I could be wrong, but I believe there's usually windows going on to these. So I don't think we need to have it quite be level with the bottom here. Maybe we do. We can always pull it up a little bit, but I think medium wall height is what we're going to need to go with to make this work. So we're just going to have this on the side here, and then we'll kind of put into position later on. But I did see some other really cool stuff in that unlocked item catalog, so we're definitely going to have to pull more from there in the future. But let's just continue on with this. So we're going to have the front of this one be like that, and then keep this like this. And just to make it look a little bit different between these two here, I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna have the top layer, actually let me just wall this off so it's a little bit easier to do this. And then obviously we'll just pull back later on. What I'm gonna do is I'm going to make the top floor of this one not have this bump out, and then we're gonna keep it on this one, just so these two don't look the exact same in shape. Just want a little bit of variety there. All right, so this is basically gonna be the facade. Yeah, I think the medium wall height is probably the way to go. And then we'll get this here for the porch. So I think we'll make each of these 2 tiles wide. Yeah, I think that's good. So we'll just go ahead and copy that and stick one of those there for each of them. I think this height for the foundation definitely works very well, because like looking at the pictures, you can see that they are pretty high up off the street. And I know that usually they have like you know, a basement here, but I'm not sure if I'm going to do that, because I feel like if I have the basement, that might be too much to furnish. I'm not sure. I mean, we could always add that in. We'll figure it out. Like a basement apartment could be kind of cool. But I wanted to try using the vampires doors. Okay, good. So this one's 2 tiles wide. So I think we'll have this one here. Like I want to try using windows and doors from different sets on these. And then for this one, we'll do, I do wish this door is a bit taller though. Actually, do we have a medium wall height one? We do, but that's 3 tiles wide. Okay, well maybe we'll have to use something different for the doors, but I was thinking we could do this for the windows, like just have a bunch of these. I know it looks like a bit of a mess now, but we'll figure out the colors and everything a little later on. And then for this one, I'm thinking we can use, I know for the windows, I want to use these ones. Yeah, so we'll have those here. And then there was a 2 tile wide version that we can use for the middle there. Yeah, these ones right here. Okay, so those can go there, and then I guess we'll stick these here, and then maybe just have the one there. That looks a little off to me. We can do, yeah, we'll just do that on the top there. But yeah, I was just kind of thinking it'd be cool to have like different kinds of windows and doors for each of them, so they don't look too same old, same old. And then for the door here, maybe this one, or I kind of like this one. Yeah, then we could choose some fun colors later on, and we're gonna have to figure out another door for this one, because I'm really not feeling that door. Okay, so that one's 3 tiles wide. I could make these houses wider, but I really don't want to do that. There are these really, ooh, yes, this is perfect. These ones are so good for this. Okay, that's not gonna work. That's 3 tiles wide. Yeah, we have a lot. Oh, we have so many good options from Strangerville, so maybe we won't go with it. You know, we could probably go with one of these Strangerville doors for over here. And then there's probably some color swatches we can use to try to make things match, but these are just absolutely gorgeous. These are perfect. Okay, so I think we're gonna go with that one for there, and then this one for here. And then we're gonna use the Strangerville windows for this one. Yes, this is perfect. Glad to have another use for these, and yes, I'm just getting excited over windows, but these look so stunning. Love it. And we'll have that there. I don't know if this is too much window. Maybe it is. And then we'll go with some smaller ones, like maybe, no, that doesn't look quite right. Or we could just leave this windowless. I mean, that is an option. Because I feel like ideally we need something that's centered in there. And I'm not really finding anything that's quite going with that. I mean, this, I don't know. You know, we'll leave that for now, and then we'll come back to it. I know this looks like a hot mess right now, but once we figure out the colors and everything, it'll look fine, I hope. I hope it'll turn out fine. So let's figure out how far back we're going to pull this. I'll just kind of pull it back a certain, okay, I think that's too much. We'll just pull it back here to start with, and then sort of figure out the layout and then base it off of that. So we're gonna need a staircase in here. So I think we're gonna position that a couple of tiles away. And then this is gonna be kind of like a long entrance hall. And then I'm thinking the door for the apartment can be right here. And this would make a good bedroom. So yeah, that's actually a pretty good size for a bedroom, and we're gonna need more space. So we're gonna have to have these go further back. Yeah, I'm not having as much space as I had hoped for here. Or in second thought, maybe we shouldn't stick the bedroom here. This might actually be better for a living room. I mean, ideally, you probably wouldn't want your bedroom facing the street because that'd be kind of noisy. So maybe here is good. I mean, actually, we probably don't need to go back quite that far. So if we make this, we can make this the living room or the kitchen or something like that, and maybe pull this a little further back. I mean, I would think you'd want some way to get to the backyard that's not through a bedroom. I don't know, we can always figure this out later. Like, another thing is we can always have the bedroom wall go here and then bathroom here, and then this should be plenty of space for living area. So I think this is a good amount to go back by. So we'll just make all of these the same. And then we could even bump some of them out a little bit to make kind of like a kitchen addition. I think that will work really well for the one that's supposed to be more modern and updated. Like, they want a little bit more space. And we have plenty of space back here as well. So I don't think I'm going to focus too much on the back of the houses for now. I think for the time being, we'll just focus more on the front and then deal with that a little later on. But I am going to push these back from the street a little further, and I think over some as well. Because another thing I wanted to do was have some space to the side for sort of a park area. So we'll have, let's see, 9 tiles here for that. So it'll be kind of a small space, but I think it'll work. And then we have enough space here for this fire escape, which looks like that's lined up against a house. So let's see how, oh right, we gotta push all this back too. I wanna try repositioning this a little bit because it's kind of too far away from the house. Ugh, okay, this is really annoying. Maybe if we pull this in a little bit, like we just pull it in one tile, we can kind of position it, and then if we push it back, it hopefully won't shove it away. Yeah, this, I was so looking forward to using this fire escape, but I'm kind of worrying that this isn't really gonna work out as well as I had hoped it would. So please don't move. Okay, good, it's staying in place. That's exactly what I wanted. Maybe this will work after all. I just feel like this is kind of like this neat, realistic touch. And then we can have windows on the side here that let out onto it. I think where it's at is fine. I mean, I could always push this up a little bit, but I think this is already high enough. So I don't really want to do it. And I think we're going to have to push it back from the street another tile. Just because, I mean, or we could, to save space, what we could do is kind of like what's done in the picture where there's, let me just show it really quick. So there's like this landing. I think we want to put it right about here. So they have this landing, and then the stairs go down to that, and then down from there. So then maybe what we need to do to make this work, but we're probably going to still have to push it back some. Or, yeah, because there's just not a lot of space. That's a downside of making foundation that's up so high, but I think it definitely looks more realistic. Okay, we're gonna have to, okay, let's actually move this up one tile, which is good because that'll give us some more space, and we'll stick those here and then copy that and put that here. So I believe that's what we're gonna have to do. I think that works. So I'm gonna just go ahead and copy that. Oh, right. Okay, so fortunately it didn't save the height. So we're just gonna have to pull that up some so it's level with the other one, which is right there. It's kind of nice how it'll tell you when it's at the same level as another surface. So you can kind of see like how that's highlighted right there. That's kind of neat. Definitely very handy. And then we're just gonna copy all of these and then stick them here, although, oh, that's gonna be pretty close to the other one, but I mean, that's fine. You can stick a gate here. It should hopefully work. Yeah, we might have to opt to tweak that a little bit, but I think for the most part, that's fine. It's starting to come together. And something I noticed looking at the pictures is that at the top, they have this very ornate frieze. So I think these ones from vampires would work perfectly. So we can kind of alternate it. Or, you know, maybe just give each one a different, ooh, I don't like that one. Yeah, let's do that because, you know, what might be better is to use the vampire frieze on the one where I use the vampire windows, and then the base game one where I use the base game windows. I think that looks a lot better. And then we didn't get one with Strangerville, so I don't have one. I think we had the, wait, no, we didn't. So we'll just roll with this, and then we're gonna have to move the windows down slightly, but I think that looks very nice. And actually, let me hit F5 so I can have finer placement, because it just gets you to know if you hit F5, you have quarter tile placement. So without it on, this is how I can move the windows. And then if I hit F5, then I can move them a little bit more finely. So that just helps a lot with placing things. And then we're gonna need to scooch these up a little bit because I was not paying attention to that when I was placing these. And then you all can come down a little bit. So I think that works. Yeah, we're starting to get somewhere with this. It looks like a little bit of a mess, but it's coming together. I'm thinking next we should try to figure out the wall covering. So there was that cinder block looking one that came with City Living that I think would be good to use. Because originally I always kind of thought of brownstones as being houses with brick, but no, they're actually like the brownstone actually means a specific kind of brownstone that's used, which makes a whole lot of sense. So I want to try to use something as close to that as possible. And I don't think this is exactly it, but I feel like this is probably the best thing to use. So I'll try to use this in a few different swatches. I don't know if we have a ton that work. Like we can do this one. And then for the last one, I may do some kind of brick or, you know what, actually we have this. Yeah, so we have 3 different swatches of this that have kind of a brownish color to them that I think will work for this. So we'll just stick that all the way around, and then you can go over here. All right, so we'll just, you know, I guess we should do back here. But as I said, in this part, we're mainly gonna be focusing on the front. So I'll work on the detailing on the back of it in a future part. And let's just go around here and grab this one. And then I'll figure out some sort of columns to separate all of these. But I think this definitely works really well as the wall covering for this. And now let's fix the coloring. So maybe some kind of white. Like I'm thinking white, but we could, you know, it could be kind of fun to, or maybe there was a, no, that, because I don't know about the bright white on this. I mean, let's just try it and see how it looks. You know, I think that's fine. And then we'll go with maybe this. I kind of like that blue door. Like it adds a nice bit of detail to this, makes it look a little bit more interesting. I'm kind of digging it. So we'll go with that. And then for this one, let's make it, well, we can just stick with the white. Now I'm kind of not completely sure about these windows. Although this swatch does look pretty nice. And we could also go with white. But I think this one has a little bit more personality to it. So we can go with that. And then we have this one with a brighter white, but I think that might be a little bit too much, although, yeah, I might change these windows to something else because, I mean, you all can let me know, but I'm not really sure about how well these fit in with this kind of build. Like I'm thinking we can keep the door and then perhaps go with different kinds of windows. This one here is the one I'm thinking about. I mean, it's less fancy, but I just want to try it to see if it looks any better because I'm kind of feeling like those windows I was just using are a little bit too much. Yeah, I think this actually looks a bit more authentic. And then we probably could get some kind of color on the inside of them just so they look a little bit more exciting. Yeah, I'm liking the green in there, although they are a bit smaller than these windows here. But I think they'll look fine if we position them like this. I mean, like I said, you all can let me know what you think. Like, should I go back to these Strangerville windows that I was using, or should we keep these? It might look a little bit better because I was also thinking about adding some trim to like between the floors. So once I do that, it might look a bit better. We could probably go with something else to place in that spot, but I'm just kind of feeling like these just feel more realistic and more like what you would actually see on a house like this than those fancy Strangerville windows do. I want to see how the big round window will look on this now that we've changed the windows. I mean, maybe one of these. Ooh, I mean, that matches. So we could just have one of those in this area here and then not have anything up here, but I'm still not 100% sure on this. So I think this is one of those things I could use feedback on for the next part. And then we'll get some trim going between the floors, or we could even use this. But I feel like this, oh yeah, that's a little too chunky. We need something a little bit more toned down than that. Like we could use this here. I don't know about that. Yeah, I think we need something a bit smaller than that. Like maybe even just a green trim could look nice, or something brown. This one here doesn't look too bad. And another thing we can do is stick some potted plants in, and I think that'll help some. For over here, we'll go with maybe a different trim. We can try seeing how that one looks. No, I think we should probably stick with the same kind of trim. So we can try that, or we can just go with a white trim. Yeah, I think that works a little bit better. And then we also need to actually stick some flooring in that spot here so we can stick trim. So I'm just gonna make that out here and then move it up. I feel like that's gonna be a little bit easier. So we'll just pull that in, duplicate that, and then I'm gonna use the arrow keys to do that and turn it. And then we just need a 1x2 space to fill that in. So that should do it. And then now we just gotta take this whole room and move it up here, and then now we should be able to put some trim in. There we go. For this one over here, I think we're gonna go back to the black trim, and then good, that's gonna go all the way down the side. Let's go ahead and figure out what we're gonna use for the foundation. So I'm thinking something close. I mean, I don't know if we're gonna find anything close in color to the rest of the house, unfortunately. I just had a thought. I'm really not liking any of the foundation options that we have for this. And at the height this foundation is, it's at about the same height the smallest wall height would be. So I'm just going to make it so the lower level, instead of it being this really high foundation, is just a regular level, like a regular small wall height level. And then I'm going to build the other 3 levels on top of it. So I'm just going to go ahead and make that switch right now. You can also put windows down here now, although as I said, I'm not sure if I want to go through and furnish the basements because I think that might be a little bit too much to do, but maybe we could do that. We'll have to, once again, play that by ear. I mean, it could be fun. Like, maybe just for this building, we can do that so it's sort of like there could be a sketchy basement apartment. That might be sort of fun. And something else I can do, I'm not sure if I'm going to actually do it, is that we can push this a little further down to the ground to make these stairs shorter. That might look better. Then we unfortunately get the awkward ground doing this thing going on here, but we might be able to cover that up, but yeah, I'm not sure that really looks that great. So we may have to just leave it out of the ground like this, but something I wanted to do is try to find a concrete that matches this as best as possible and figure out where on the lot we want to have that. Because I'm not sure if I want to have these stairs go right down onto the street, or if we want to have sort of a, you know, like a landing here and then you have this nice gated area. Maybe that'll be better since we already do have some concrete out here. Like, I can just have one tile going across here, and then the rest of this front space here can be sort of like a front garden. I think that'd be nice, be a bit better, and I think it would probably look better to have the, you know, kind of a gate like that and kind of go with a more high-end feel of these buildings. So let's find a concrete that will work for that. Like, I always have trouble finding a concrete that works. I think this one, it's not perfect, but I think this one kind of works. And then there is, I think this is a different one. Oh, yeah, wait. Yeah, that is a different. It's like very slightly different. But I think this one looks a little bit better. Like I said, it's a very slight difference. So we'll just get this concrete all the way around like that. And then we'll have this be the front garden area. And as I discussed over here, I wanted to have some kind of community park type area. So I think we'll have that be maybe beside it right here, kind of like beside the building. And then around here, we can have one tile of concrete, and then the rest of this can be sort of like a back garden area. But before I end this part, I wanted to do a little bit more detailing to the building themselves, like figure out the stairs and maybe add some columns to separate the buildings from each other. And then I think after that, we're gonna wrap things up because I don't want this to end up too long. But I want to see if we have some kind of brick or stone staircase that would look really nice here. So I don't think that, I don't know about that. I don't think we really have a lot of stone staircases. I mean, I think this is supposed to be wood. I think the darker brick that I used over here first time is probably the best thing for this one. And for this one over here, that was the same one we used there. Yeah, we may just have to go with brick for these. Because I'm not really finding... Because like in the pictures, they kind of have like just the stone that matches the color of the rest of the building. Or kind of goes with it, but we don't really have as many options for that here in the game. But for this one, we can go with a white brick. Yeah, I think that works. And I'm a little bit more stuck on this one. I mean, that could work. I think this brick that we used over here worked pretty well for this one. I mean, I think I'll just leave it like this for now, and then we can always just figure that out later. And for this one on the end here, I think this nice wrought iron fencing from Vampires works very well. And there should, okay, yeah, this is the matching one here. So we'll just use that for this. And then for this one, I mean, we could just do the same thing for each of these. We unfortunately don't have a whole lot of options for a more wrought iron look. There is the one from Get Famous that could actually work. I mean, this one, do we have one with less gold in it? Ugh, okay, I'm not feeling that. That's a little bit too over the top. And we do have this one. I mean, that actually looks kind of nice. So let's try to find the regular fencing like that. So it should be, yeah, that's this one right here. So we'll just replace that. And then for this one, ooh, these fences, like I'm getting a little ahead of myself here, but this fence would be so perfect for these. Although we can't, that's the only problem. We can't stick it beside the stairs like that. Okay, so that's a bit of an issue, unfortunately. We might have to just stick a regular wall there, but we'll square that off in the next part. And then the gate that goes with that is also 4 tiles wide. So that's another reason why I think that would work very well. But maybe for this one down at this end, we'll just use the same fencing that we used on the other one, since there is some black in this. So I think that kind of works. And then we'll just use matching brick flooring for the patio here. I feel like that's probably the best option to go with. Well, we can try this one. I mean, it's not, maybe this coloring. Okay, I think that actually was meant to match it. And for this one, will this match? I mean, kinda. Yeah, I'm probably gonna need to tweak all of this later on, but I just wanted to have things feel a little bit more finished before we ended things here. We'll use this one for the end here. Yeah, I think that looks nice. Okay, so we'll get another one up here. And I'm not sure if I want to stick that. That's the only problem is like this has more of a white color scheme. So I feel like it might look kind of odd if we put those like that between it. I don't know, maybe we can just put these on the end and then put gutters or something like that between the buildings in the middle. That might work a little bit better, but I at least like the look of these columns on the sides here. It just kind of doesn't really look as good when you stick them in here, but I think we still need something. I mean, another option is that we can take this one and then perhaps just go with the white coloring on this, like that's a little bit more subtle. That might work better. I'm not 100% sure about those columns, but I think they look better than not having them there. Either way, I think that's all I'm going to do for this video. I hope you all are enjoying this series so far. I'm aiming to have the next part up later this week, so keep an eye out for that around Thursday or Friday. But I'm going to go ahead and end this here, so if you enjoyed the video, thanks for watching, bye!